I'm Emily, 28, no longer a pawn in my parents' game of building an authentic life. My journey began when my fashion boutique failed, a catastrophe my parents, Mary and John Thompson, orchestrated and used to label me irresponsible. To control me further, they forced me into an arranged marriage with James, a man they deemed a nobody, and relegated me to an entry-level administrative job. Our sprawling mansion was a monument to old money and new ambition, fueled by my father John's real estate empire. My mother, Mary, orchestrated our social ascent with military precision, ensuring every aspect of our lives screamed wealth and status. John dismissed it as a little project, funding it as an expensive lesson. For 3 glorious months, Atelier Emily thrived, attracting fashion editors and influencers. My business partner, Jessica, handled operations. Then, the call came. The accounts were empty, and Jessica had disappeared with our capital, leaving falsified records. The Boston Globe ran the story. Thompson heiress duped in boutique scheme. After dismissing my attempts to find work independently, John cleared his throat. Theodore Parker has been our family's attorney for decades. His associate son, James, is seeking a wife. He's willing to overlook your recent difficulties. The stranger stepped forward. He was average height, plain features, with medium brown hair, wearing a department store suit and a non-luxury watch. This is absurd. I laughed. I'm not marrying a stranger because of one business setback. Mary stated flatly, this isn't a negotiation. You'll marry James, who has generously agreed to this arrangement despite your circumstances. If I refused, I would leave with nothing. Mary added, your father's heart can't take much more stress, a heavy implication of blame. I moved through the morning in a detached haze, feeling appropriate rather than beautiful. John walked me down the aisle with a grip that felt more restraining than supportive. It was 2 bedrooms, a functional kitchen, and bland furniture Mary had selected. Home sweet home, James commented without irony. This isn't a home, I retorted, it's a holding cell. I floundered with domesticity, while James observed with surprising patience. He left early each morning for his financial consultant position, returning to find me struggling with my administrative role, a job involving coffee fetching and filing that any high school graduate could perform. Weekends, James often disappeared for business meetings that seemed excessive for his junior position. He maintained a locked home office where he took private calls in a voice that carried more authority than his supposed role warranted. My curiosity grew alongside my suspicion. Why would this unassuming man agree to marry a disgraced socialite? 50 guests, trimmed from 300, watched with pity or barely concealed schadenfreude. James waited at the altar, surprisingly composed, and squeezed my hand gently, whispering, just breathe. The reception was a blur of condescending well-wishes. Mary's centerpiece gift was a deed to a starter apartment and employment contracts for entry-level positions at Thompson Enterprises. Suitable for your capabilities, John explained, emphasizing my demotion. We departed in James's Honda, no exotic honeymoon. I fled to Olivia's bedroom. They've been planning this for weeks, she admitted, explaining it was about controlling the narrative. If I married this guy and took a humble position, they could tell everyone it was a redemption story. James, she said, was a financial consultant at a small firm whom Mary liked because he's forgettable. My younger sister, Olivia, 5 years my junior, followed my path, mimicking my moves, often undermined by Mary's casual cruelty. Until age 26, I performed flawlessly. University, MBA, and a position at my father's company awaited. He arrived in a Honda Civic, wearing the same unremarkable suit. His apartment was just as ordinary. Functional furniture, minimal decoration. I understand this isn't ideal, he said, but I think we could build something functional. When I demanded his practical reasons, his phone buzzed, and he stepped into what appeared to be a home office, his muffled voice sounding more authoritative. In desperation, I met Tyler Reed, an ex-boyfriend, hoping for another option. His calculated offer to help for Thompson connections made me realize my value had always been my family name, my connections. Without them, even former lovers saw me as damaged goods. I had the right friends and dated acceptable men. My mother hissed this where I belonged, ensuring my humiliation was complete and my life's narrative controlled. The preppy boy is making a sacrifice accepting you with your history, she remarked. This match is where you belong now. Be grateful anyone would take you. I caught my reflection. A trapped woman in a sensible dress, about to enter a sensible marriage, fading into appropriate insignificance. Growing up as Emily Thompson in Boston's Beacon Hill meant never questioning privilege. Then, I committed the unforgivable sin. I wanted something of my own, a high-end fashion boutique. My parents' reaction was swift and merciless. Your irresponsibility has embarrassed this family, John thundered. Mary, with ice-cold eyes, added, your recklessness reflects poorly on our judgment. Within weeks, they reclaimed my apartment, canceled my credit cards, and relegated me to a guest room. Every family gathering became an opportunity to reference my failure, trotting me out as evidence that even Thompson women could fall. My Mercedes disappeared, replaced by a 10-year-old Honda. I existed in a limbo of shame, my identity dissolving. The intervention happened on a Tuesday evening. John and Mary informed me they had reached a decision regarding my future. 3 days later, I met James for an arranged dinner. The final blow came during my wedding dress fitting. Mary selected a subdued ivory sheath. My wedding day dawned with picture-perfect weather, feeling like a cosmic joke. It was a tastefully modest ceremony. Our generous wedding gift, the apartment occupied the third floor of a converted factory building.